What's up, everybody? How we doing tonight?
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
What's happening?
What's happening? So, cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers. Good evening, everybody. I am live on location tonight at a undisclosed location tonight, and Greg is previously occupied. If you've followed Greg, you may have seen some photos from PGA Frisco. He played there last week. He's still out of town. So, Lee, thank you, Shank, for joining us tonight.
Got it, man. Appreciate it.
So, nothing big happened this weekend, did it?
There was something. Yeah, can't put my finger on it.
Yeah, no. The Open. Okay, cool. So we're gonna
Song by heart called Barracuda.
Barracuda. There was a Barracuda this weekend. So
Yes,
Barracuda.
Because this is our British Open recap, or the Open recap, let's dive into Barracuda first.
Yeah.
We'll Dave, go over who were our picks, and let's start with that. Our picks, and then how they finished.
Let's see. So for Barracuda this week, I had Bo Hosler. He tied for sixth at plus 35.
That was a good week.
Yep. Greg had Joel Dahman, tied for 10th at plus 34. And Steve, Patrick Rogers, second all alone, losing in a playoff at plus 40.
We watched a divot take its chances downhill real quick.
I know you and I have talked about the divots before and everything like that. How do you feel about him losing that playoff? Props to our first time winner there, and he's come a long way, since being a junior. He's been drive, chip, and putt champion at Augusta. He's won on the Corn Ferry Tour, and big props to that clutch putt on 18. But he ends up winning that tournament on the first playoff hole because Patrick Rogers landed in a divot.
That sucked. But
you know what? I need to do this. First, I need to. You know what? Here's the thing. Akshay Bhatia wins with what is basically conditional status on the PGA Tour. Wasn't a fully exempt member. Is now fully exempt because he gets to win. So, we're going to tip our cap to him. Huge win for him. Patrick Rogers in the divot. I'll say it like this. I don't think that over the course of a round of golf, when you hit what are 60 to 70 golf shots on the PGA Tour, typically, one shot ending up in a divot does not deserve you the right to move it out of said divot. I know there are a lot of people that will disagree with me. I know there are people that will say it's ground under repair or this, that, or the other. I just feel like over the course of a round, you got to play it as it lies. Just because you get a bad lie in the rough doesn't mean you get to move it out of a bad lie in the rough.
Yep.
So I don't think that it is, when you look at it over the course of what are 72 holes, you know what, Patrick Rogers hit a terrible drive on a drivable hole, drove it into a fairway bunker, ended up making par. Joel Dahman rinsed two balls on the back nine.
Duff, we'll get into that one.
And then Dave, your pick, Bo Hosler, had some pretty rough holes, and if it wasn't for making an eagle and stuffing one on the back nine, making an eagle, I mean, he would have finished further down the leaderboard. So,
here's the thing.
I think I'd rather go on the idea of the format and say, you know what, they only do it once a year. They played Stableford format. I like the excitement of the Stableford format. Do I think it would be good week in and week out on the PGA Tour? No, I don't.
No.
But do I think it's a fun week, especially as an opposite field event from the Open Championship? I think it's a great idea, and I think, you know what, it fits in perfectly at this point in the year. Disappointed Patrick Rogers didn't win. Again, it was my pick. I thought, I was finally going to get off the break that curse and get off the snide on that one and finally get a W.
You're like Tom Brady playing Eli Manning. You just can't beat him.
Wow. As a kid from Massachusetts, that's deep. That hurts. That's throwing shots there.
That's why that's in honor of Greg. So when he comes back and watches this, but here's the thing for some of our viewers out there that may not know what Stableford scoring is, it's a modified scoring event where it's the more points the better, which is why we're talking about plus 40, plus 35, where you're getting 8 points for an eagle.
No, 8 points for a double eagle. 8 points for a double eagle.
8 points for an albatross.
For an albatross. 5 points for an eagle. 2 points for a birdie. Nothing for a par. You lose one for a bogey, and I think it was it 2 or 3 for a double.
You just keep going down. Bogey is -1.
No, the highest score they could make out there was double this week. So the highest score they can make was double.
Which is great.
You know, I think so they said it on Sunday afternoon. They said, give me 10 points a day and I'll take my chances. And what ended up winning? Plus 40. And Akshaya, the putt he made at the end of regulation to get into the playoff, to step up and just nails one from 12 feet and center cut the thing. I mean, I did think he was a little in trouble in the playoff. I thought he went, and they were talking about it on TV on the broadcast. I thought he did go down to the tee box a little too early. I wouldn't have wanted to stand down there and wait. I would have rather stood around somewhere else, like with people around. And Lee, I know you said you didn't watch the event. Dave, did you watch the event?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Was it me, or did it seem like the gallery was that of like a member guest?
It looked like you had guys.
There was nobody. There was nobody there. There was
nobody there. You had people sitting up on rocks that looked like they drove their ATV in.
I mean, I'm down. I mean, let's if you can. I mean, I ain't mad at you for doing it.
No, and I tell you what, it's in Tahoe. Do I want to be in Tahoe at this time of year? Probably not.
You know what, though? Back-to-back weeks in Tahoe for the NBC/Golf Channel crew, because they had the celebrity event the week before.
The week before. But it is nice to see snow cap in the mountains. That global warming's not fully taking effect yet.
No political topics, please. Please, no political topics. We're gonna leave that alone.
But here's the thing: the course looked great. It was a fun
I really
event.
feel like it would be a fun golf course to play, and I feel like it was set up great for Stableford. I mean,
it was set up great for Stableford.
Basically, 3 holes on the back 9 that you could try and drive and make.
You could try and drive,
and the par 5s were all. The par 5s were all
2 shots. Yep.
Yeah, they were all gettable par 5s.
So it's to play opposite the Open and know you had full coverage in the afternoon, except for people watching the replay of the Open in the afternoon. I think it's like the team event in New Orleans. It's something that's different that they do once a year, and to have the guys that aren't at the Open. There were some names in the field that we all picked, but it was still it's one of those events that he gets his tour card for next year and gets to play in the Players Championship.
Yep.
So
I don't think he'll get now. Let's talk about this, because I know later on we're gonna have a different. I'll hold this for later, because we're gonna have a discussion in last call about Ryder Cup and things like that. So.
Yep.
Let's table a different conversation for that.
But like Duff said earlier here, 2 lefties winning in the same week, which brings us to all 5'7", 150 pounds soaking wet of Brian Harman.
It's funny. Just throw this idea out there. That dude he plays great in majors. He's won twice on the PGA Tour. Once at he won the Wells Fargo, great event. On a great golf course, even if they move it.
Is it just me, or did he just only come up to his caddy's shoulder?
Well, his his caddy's father is actually a PGA champion.
Yeah.
His caddy's father is Bob Tway.
Yeah.
Beat Greg Norman
really?
in a hole out. Beat Greg Norman in a hole out. And another conversation for happy hour about
Another
second
day,
place.
yeah.
No, second place finishes. We're going to discuss that at happy hour.
I need to look that up. Yeah.
I have it. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, I have it. I have it here, so we're good. There's been a lot of talk this week, and Lee, I want to pick your brain on this as well. It's Dave. You know what? Here, let's talk about. Let's go over our picks, Dave, and then we'll get into happy hour and then have those conversations, because I feel like there's a lot to talk about more in happy hour, and let's just leave that for a happy hour conversation.
Yeah. So coming into the British, I took Rory, trying to go back to back, and he finished tied at 6 under. Greg had Tommy Fleetwood, who did not have a really great weekend, but toughed it out to finish tied 10th at -4. And then you had Scotty Scheffler, who barely made it with a bunker shot on 18.
Listen, it's not. There's no pictures on the scorecard. That bunker shot was amazing.
Yeah, and he finishes tied 23rd.
Backdoor. That was a backdoor.
If the number
backdoor
didn't make the turn.
Backdoor T23.
Backdoor 23.
Yeah, backdoor T23.
But when you're the number one player in the world, that's what you need sometimes.
Yes. And you know what? Sometimes that happens. But no, I think when you look at what happened, I mean, it was a great week, and we're going to get into a whole nother conversation here anyway, in happy hour about it. So let's leave that for happy hour. Dave, where does that put us, Dave, after both events this weekend?
So that Steve, you stay in the lead at an average of 21.9.
Yes.
Greg gains a little bit and goes to 23.9, and I gain a little bit more and move up to 24. So Greg is a 1/10 of a point ahead of me right now.
And for those watching for the first time, that is our average finish this year for the tour events. So
yes, in the money game, I still have a commanding 4 million.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Just because you're $5 million behind.
Money talks.
Listen, better finishes. That's all I'm saying.
Winner's circle, me. Not in the winner's circle, you.
You're still 2 point what behind me? I mean, actually, 2.1 behind me. Okay, cool. We'll leave it at that.
So let's get into the 3M here. Playing up in Blaine, Minnesota, and the Twin Cities.
Tony Finau, defending champion.
Yes.
Tony Finau, who hasn't done anything since winning in Mexico.
That's probably I picked him to win Mexico, so that's probably I have to keep scrolling to try. I don't even think Tony's playing this week.
No, he is.
Oh, there he is. I found him. Yep.
I think surprisingly, Justin Thomas is making an appearance this week.
Yep.
And then because he needs to, because right now he's on the outside looking in for the FedEx Cup playoffs. Talk about a guy needing a big week. He needs a big week this weekend, next week.
Yep.
And then we run into a lot of big names. Cameron Young's coming back to play. When I looked at the field, I was kind of surprised at the field because there were so many big names that played last week that are playing this week.
Yeah. So your top picks here, going into this, we got some ties for 1, 2, and 3 here.
Okay.
So Sungjae Im and Cameron
Young.
Young.
Wait,
Oh.
Dave, wait.
Yep.
Dave, wait.
There we go. There we go.
We needed our spy hunt.
Yep. So the 3,
It's a
the
big
3M.
field.
Yeah.
It is a big field.
Lee, yeah. Yeah, Duff, you're right. JD did have 2 days to kill, and he could have flown back early. So you have Sung J M and Cameron Young leading the way at 14-1. Tony Finau and Hideki at 16-1. And then you have a trio at 25-1 at Sepp Straka, JT, and Emilio Grillo at 25-1. Yep.
Okay.
And
All right.
so Steve, you're leading it on. We already know who Greg's pick is.
We do.
And
We do.
I have the odds on Greg's pick. And
I am going to go with. I'm going to actually go back-to-back weeks that someone is going to get some status handed to them, some fuller status than they already have. I know Ludwig Aberg, playing out of the collegiate spot, has been playing great. I'm going to take Ludwig Aberg, bombs it, and it's a 7,500-yard golf course, and I feel like he's got a good finish coming this week.
He's coming in at 30-1.
That's not a surprise.
And we said Greg had Patrick Rogers. And I said he was 50-1.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think I like the same philosophy of trying to not to pick somebody that was playing at the Open coming back just for flights and
jet lag idea.
But I just
because I snaked your pick because I knew you were going to take Aberg. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you did, and really? And all props to Bob and Squares Golf. I'm not going to do it because I have a curse on Sepp.
Yep.
Even though I had 3 bets on him this weekend that all cashed.
Bob did get a text message from me last night. I think Lee, you said you texted him too. I texted Bob congratulating him on Sepp getting a second place finish. They had a lot of great airtime for the shoes this week, so that was great to see.
You know, I think I'm going to go down the list a little bit here.
Ooh,
and
flyer.
I'm going to take a flyer this week. I'm going into Steve's bag of tricks here. I'm taking Glover.
Oh, G Lover. You know what? I like
Lover.
that pick. I like that pick since he's moved to the direct force putter.
Yeah.
Not the direct force, the Mez. He's really played well. So
yeah. And he's one that he wasn't over there last week. He's had he's coming in at 45-1 though. So, I like Hideki at 16. I like Sepp at 25. I like Cameron Young at 14. I know it's just a jet lag coming back, kind of for me.
Hey, Mike, that's actually not a bad take there. Dwayne Kisner's not in the field this week, so I got to feel like Dwayne's probably back on Sepp's bag this week. So that may not be a bad idea.
But Mike, I'm not allowed to pick Sepp because every time I picked him, he's finished.
I'm not picking him either. I've cursed Sepp too.
And Steve and I have both made a deal with Bob from Squares that we're not allowed to pick him to win. Only Greg can right now. Because when Greg picks Sepp, Sepp does better.
Well.
Yep. So as much as I would like to pick Sepp right now, I feel loyalty towards Bob and at Squares, and I want his guy to play all 4 days. Yep. I will put a bet. Trust me, I have odds on Sepp on top 5 and top 10. I can put a bet on that one. I just can't take him to win outright.
Yep. No. So,
what's the odds of Sam Bennett?
Ooh. Still looking.
Yeah. Oh, that's not a good sign.
90.
90-1, huh?
Right. That's who I'm going with.
Sam Bennett. All
right. You still think he's riding high off his Masters performance?
I think he wants to prove now.
Okay.
He got done knocked off the high and Maya. He did great. Absolutely phenomenal.
He got Michael blocked, huh?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, did you see the photo of Block with the Ryder Cup?
No, but did you see the photo of Block? Did you see the video of Block holing one out with DJ Khaled there?
Yes.
In his group? That was hilarious. So,
that guy was gonna break his back.
Yeah, I thought the same thing too. I was like, does he know what he's doing? DJ Khaled's not a small dude.
Exactly.
So, all right, it is time. Let's do this. All right, time for the open recap. I want to start. And I want to say something. There's been a lot of talk online about how it was a boring British Open or an Open Championship, whatever we're going to call it. Because Brian Harman basically ran away with it. And did he get the best? Probably he had the best possible tee time for the whole week on Thursday and Friday. Probably.
Yes.
But I'm going to say this. He played very Tiger Woods golf out there and went away and hid. And yes, it was a race for second on Sunday with the weather being as miserable as it was. But I will say this. I think that for you to be able to golf your ball the way he did for 4 days to win by 6 or 5, or I don't really care. I mean, it may have been anticlimactic at the end, and the back nine was kind of they got close. They got within 3 on the front 9 on Sunday, and it really wasn't really that close. You never felt like it, but I feel like it actually was fun to watch if you actually watched the whole week and the whole body of his work, because it was a really good round. It was a really good week of golf that he played. Just going to say that.
And we're talking the Open. We're talking weather. We're talking rain. We're talking wind.
And we never really got the rain for the first 3 days. I mean, he hit it in 2 greenside bunkers the whole week. He was 58 of 59 for putting inside 10 feet. I mean, who was the last guy that was 58 of 59 putting inside 10 feet? I mean, the only guy I can think of that could do that is Tiger. I mean, those are Tiger numbers.
Yeah. It's not so much that, you want to talk about, it wasn't, I didn't find it boring as somebody that, does this and runs a podcast and, tries to play golf here and there. And because
the key word on that isn't that you're trying to get out to play, it's that you're trying to play. Right. That was the key word there was try. It wasn't that you're trying to play golf, it's that you're trying to play golf.
And here's the thing. Harman came in at 125-1. And even going into Saturday, he still wasn't the betting favorite.
Wow.
He was not the betting favorite going into Saturday. So, he was in the top 5, but people still had, Rory and, going into Sunday, the money was on Jon Rahm after that round he put together on Saturday.
And I don't understand that because it is real hard to back up a really good round of golf, which is what Rahm played on Saturday. Mm-hmm. You go out and shoot 63.
He went out there Saturday with no pressure whatsoever.
No pressure. And you go out there on Sunday, he's still far enough back that you kind of you're trying to go out there and freewheel and make a bunch of birdies and see where it ends you. But I mean, I've got some points here, things that I want to talk about tonight. And that was one of them.
Yeah.
Backing up a great round in a major is almost unheard. I mean, how many times did you see a major winner 4 rounds in the 60s? It hadn't been done at Augusta until last year or the year before? It just doesn't happen. So, did you know, I'm going to throw this out there, this was the second straight major for Titleist to win as a Titleist staffer won. Funny enough, not using a Titleist or a Scotty Cameron putter.
No.
They had Odyssey putters.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he had a TaylorMade putter. He had that TaylorMade putter that Brian Harman uses. So second straight. And this year's major lineup goes Odyssey, Titleist, Odyssey TaylorMade for putter lineup.
Yeah.
Rory now has 30 top 10s in majors.
Yep.
That number's stupid. Like when you think about 30 top 10s in majors.
And the fact that he hasn't won a major in 10 years.
And
now we're still talking, there's some guys out there that would give their left and right arms to have 30 top 10s in a major.
Correct. Jason Day became the 9th player to join the career runner-up Grand Slam Club. I will go down the list of all 9 players now. For us, Craig Wood, who finished runner-up 6 times in the 1930s. Arnold Palmer never won a PGA Championship, finished runner-up 3 times in that. So he did that. Jack Nicklaus has the career.
See, I didn't think Palmer was on that because did Palmer finish second in an Open?
Once, 1960.
Okay.
Jack Nicklaus has the career Grand Slam 4 times. For runner-up. So 4 times he's finished. 4 times he's finished runner-up. 4 times all in at least 4 times in each of the majors. Tom Watson has done it. He's on the list. Everyone's favorite choke artist. I mean, Greg Norman is on the list. Phil Mickelson has 11 major seconds. The next name,
second at the Open,
the U.S. Open or the British Open?
British.
2015.
Okay.
Yeah, I was with Heinrich.
I'm sorry. And I'm sorry, Phil Mickelson, British Open 2011 and 2016. Louis Oosthuizen has the career runner-up Grand Slam, and still only has 1 win on the PGA Tour. Just clarify that really quickly. The only event that he has won is the British Open. Dustin Johnson has done it, and now Jason Day.
Yeah.
So, career runner-up Grand Slam for those guys. Kudos to Jason Day.
Heck yeah.
What do we think of the golf course setup?
I liked it. I think they should have left the pot bunkers alone a little bit more than what they did.
When you say left them alone, what do you mean?
They were Did you see him sweeping the sides and scraping them down a little bit? Let the ball plug in there when you hit it. But setup wise,
the one thing I don't like, I didn't like the internal out of bounds.
No. Yeah, that's.
But I also feel like, did it really ever come in? I mean, a couple guys that came into play, but it never really amounted to anything.
Any of the leaders.
It didn't affect any of the leaders. No, correct.
No.
My favorite hole out there was 17. First time 17. They used the par 3.
The par 3, the new par 3, yeah.
Let's just discuss. We went from the U.S. Open, right? We had the U.S. Open where you had a 290-yard par 3 that everyone. I mean, it played 297 one day,
right?
And you had an 80-yard par 3,
correct? Which was kind of a dumb hole in itself too, because right. Here was a par 3 that literally, if you told me. If I was playing, the answer would have been hit it in the middle of the green 4 straight days and take your chances no matter where the flag is and just get out of it.
Yeah.
Because it falls off everywhere. I watched Phil Mickelson go Ben Laden, hit one bunker to bunker, which was entertaining for me. But he played, 132 yards out to like 140 something, 45, I think he played at the longest on Sunday. And the hole had everything from a 1 to a 6 on it.
Yep.
And outside of the bunkers and the green falling off, there was really no trouble. There.
No, it made for an interesting hole for the first time, really being I'm sure the members have played that hole a few times, but
so it's a part of their short course. They have a
yeah.
par 3 short course there, and who doesn't love a good par 3 short course at a club? But I honestly think that it made for a great hole, and it didn't look like it was out of place. I know a few of the
No.
players thought the bunkering and the fall offs were a little extreme. It's 130 yards. It's like telling me that there's a problem with 17 at Sawgrass. Like there isn't much to it. There really isn't. So I don't have I have a hard time with you saying, it's 130 yards. You're going to complain about a hole that has some fall offs. You're hitting wedge. Just stop. Like, come on. Suck it up, hit a wedge. Suck it up and hit a shot. Like you're hitting wedge.
I liked one. I liked the opening hole. Because if you were just a little bit right or left, off the tee, you're in some of the thicker stuff. It played well to everybody's eye, whether you're hitting a fade or a draw. You had to hit it right. And I think hearing some of the complaints and reading some of the things out there is on especially with some of the conditions that people just wanted to see Rory tee it up and bomb it out there. And it wasn't designed for Rory to tee it up and bomb it on that. He had to use that 2-iron a lot off the tee,
placement golf to play his shots correctly.
Yeah. And that's, it was very links golf. It was very, you had to play to the weather. You had to play to keeping it out of the bunkers. I wasn't really sold.
Give me a sec.
Yeah, you're good. Lee, what did you, what was your opinion of, the golf course and how it played out over the week?
I thought it was awesome. It was a test of challenge. A challenge test for all of them. When you're seeing Finau having to, in a bunker, having to putt it 2 feet to be able to chip it out of it, don't hit it in the bunker.
Well, okay, don't hit it in the bunker. I agree with you. I'm glad that they play this way. I don't want to see it every week, though.
Oh, no. And
no, I don't want to see it every week. I don't mind it 1 week of the year. 1 or 2 weeks of the year. I don't mind it.
Like the U.S. Open setup. You don't want to see that every time. But
yeah. No, I think the I think the RNA got it right with the weather. I think they set the golf course up really well with the weather. You didn't see these guys hitting, even when the wind changed direction, you didn't see them hitting 3. We don't want to watch them at 3 woods into par 4s. That's just not fun to watch. We never saw that. The golf course was very playable. I think the golf course was set up great. I think the RNA did a great job. Even when the weather came in on Sunday, it was set up so that best round of the week for my pick, Scotty Scheffler shoots 4 under on Sunday, in a torrential downpour, just going out there and playing it. Let me ask you, and was the waggle count from NBC a little too much?
I missed that part because I just watched it. I watched it on the actual app.
Okay. All right. So there were 2 things that I saw that on social media this week of people they were complaining about. One was Brian Harmon's waggle. He still is faster than Patrick Cantley. We'll just leave it at that. He picks a club, gets up just because he waggles it to try and calm himself. It's faster than Sergio ever was with his 85 waggles that Sergio used to make.
Oh my gosh.
And then the other thing that everybody was complaining about were the commercial breaks. And I know you said you were watching it on the app. For those of us that were watching it on television, they were pretty painful between the playing through and the and then the regular commercials. They were pretty bad.
That's why I love it when the majors have their apps that have the coverage in it, whereas this year the PGA did not.
Yeah, but this really, when I went into the app, because I was out for part of the day on Sunday, kind of the middle of the round, I had to run out, and it really wasn't a good coverage of the
entire golf round.
Right,
No, just
right.
your
Yeah, no.
marquee groups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I would rather watch multiple groups than just watch one marquee group. Like that's kind of
Yes,
like
it gets
I
old
also
after a while.
well, it does because there's too much downtime
Yep.
on the app when you have that. But I think that when you look at what they've set up for, I wish, and again, we all get spoiled, I think, at the first part of the year because the Masters does such a good job controlling commercials.
Everything.
They control everything, and they do such a great job with the commercials, and CBS, gives them whatever they want to with that. That when it comes time for when we go to the PGA, and then as you move into, NBC's two majors that they have with the U.S. Open and the British Open, man, the commercial breaks just get worse and worse. There was one point on I don't know if it was Friday or Saturday. NBC showed one shot in between a playing through and a commercial.
Oh wow!
One shot.
Yeah, and I think somebody on Twitter was tracking all that you sent us a screenshot of.
Yes.
And it's just for me. I was watching. I had it on NBC Sports, so I was streaming everything, and I didn't notice it as. Was that my internet that just went out? Here you go, Brad.
It was.
But I didn't notice it as. Yeah, I didn't notice it as much, streaming it, but I was working on bottling wine this weekend as well too. So shameless plug, Brad. And so I didn't notice it as much as you might have, but seeing some of those catches in there, it's nice to see the action, but you want to hear the commentary.
Right. And, and I've said this before, like I'm playing through, I think I've even posted it, like, the problem that I have with playing through is that somebody could make a hole in one during playing through or, knock one in the hole from 200 yards and they're not going to go back and show it again. And that drives me insane. Like, come on. Like, if somebody hits a quality golf shot during playing through, let's go back and see it. Let's get some commentary on it. Like, and to go from a playing through to a commercial and show one golf shot, I mean, somebody in a truck has to do better than that.
On the bright side, though, it's not Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
I mean, that's true. That is true. But no, I think I do think that, Dave, while you were gone, we were talking about how Augusta gets it right with commercial breaks.
Yeah, I had you.
Yeah, and again, why can't we do that? Like, why can't these people? And I understand it's a dollars and cents game for commercials, and I understand that. But like, at some point, like, let's go show a golf shot. Like, let's watch some golf. Let's not watch commercials with golf sprinkled in, and that's what it's becoming. So, and that's where I think we have to. There just is an issue with that. So,
and it's tough to get invested in it. We all have friends out there that when Tiger stopped playing, they stopped watching golf because it just, why watch golf when Tiger's not playing? Whereas they're missing out on some extraordinary things that are going on, and it's not just yes, did Tiger bring everything to golf that we're enjoying right now? He sure did. But if you're only watching golf for Tiger, you're missing out on, you're missing out on Sepp Straka. You're missing out on Brian Harmon. You're missing out on Lucas Glover, Bo Hazel, these guys that are, grinders, that have stuck with it all these years.
Well, and here's the thing, though. I mean, let's be real about those names that you're mentioning, though. Let's be real about the names that you're mentioning. those aren't the names the PGA Tour cares about anymore. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but with
Yeah.
the elevated events and the events that these guys are all playing in now, and the number of
They
events,
want Rahm and Scheffler, and
that's all they
Rory,
want, because those
and
guys guys fill
Patrick
seats.
Play,
Those guys sell
and
tickets.
yeah,
You know, they don't like these second tier events. There's a reason this weekend's event was only on the Golf Channel.
yep.
And it's disappointing because there's some great. I mean, there was some great golf at the Barracuda.
Yeah.
There were some great golf shots there. Joel Damon had a great interaction out of the woods with a shot on Sunday.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. So you could probably go on. I know it's on TikTok because I saw it there earlier today.
Yeah. The conversation between him and his caddy. If you hit it right here, you're okay. If you hit it right here, you're not.
Yeah, like it was hilarious, and
Yeah.
and I feel like there's a.
I think any
events like
interaction
that
with Joel Damon is hilarious.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like if we were sitting at the tavern, he would make just another random night on the patio a true story.
Another
again.
random, yeah.
But no, they, I feel like there's a really cool, vibe with some of these events that the big name players aren't playing in. A lot of people aren't watching them, and you should really watch some of these events because there's some really good freaking golf that's being played right now.
Yes,
Yeah.
there is. I know, Steve, you and I talked about it, off air, but you going up to, John Deere and all those guys that stayed in the same house and everything. Those are the names that we're going to see coming through in the next couple years.
I don't want to tease what we're about to talk about, so I'm not going to go down that road.
Yeah.
But I really feel like when you look at what's going to happen to the game, you're going to see some really good golf be played, no matter what. And we've seen that this year. Like, I think everybody was afraid that these non-elevated events that nobody would show up and wouldn't see great golf. I mean, I'll tell you, I want all three of us to answer this question, but I mean, let's look at the non-elevated events on the golf that's been played. There hasn't been a bad week on the PGA Tour. There's been a great storyline each and every week. Lee, Dave, I know you. Lee, what's your opinion on that? I mean,
I agree. It's making it more where the other players are doing whatever they can to get into the elevated event.
Right, and you got to play
pushing
well.
up. Exactly.
It's pushing them. Yeah,
it's more drive.
Yeah. And I'm going to ask this question. Is it the reason that Justin Thomas isn't playing well because everybody else is playing better? I mean, although he did shoot 82, but that's a whole nother story. Dave, what's your opinion of the non-elevated events?
They're great. I do, because these are the grinders that are out there. These are the guys that they may shoot 64 one day. They may shoot 82 the next day, and they make golf realistic to the three of us for the most part. And they're fun to watch because most of them they've had a tour card and lost it, or trying to get a tour card, or trying to get back into
Dave, your pick
playoffs.
I was sitting with my dad the other night watching. We were watching Barracuda last night. We were talking about your pick this week, Bo Hostler. I mean, he was a can't miss coming out of college.
Yeah.
Patrick Rogers
until he messed his shoulder up.
Right.
Yeah.
And Patrick Rogers he has as many wins in college as Tiger Woods has.
Yeah.
At Stanford. So we're not talking about guys that didn't have a good pedigree coming in.
Yep.
And here they are playing in these, to tell me that Patrick Rogers isn't playing the British Open? What? Come on. There's an issue there. So, all right, let's move on. Let's keep the show moving here. It's that time, and I still don't understand how I was the one that put the Golfing Dads together, and now I get stuck with this intro. I still can't figure out how we haven't changed that yet, but we'll leave it there.
Surprised you didn't change that this week.
The other video's not in here, so I can't. I would have.
Yeah.
Don't believe me, I would have. Here's this week's Smack of the Week, and I'm just going to let it roll. Dave's already seen this, Lee. I'm just going to preface this in advance by saying, ouch.
Oh, yeah.
Avery, oh my gosh.
Avery, what are you doing? I mean,
Why?
I'm gonna just say this. The most impressive part of that was the dude that she hit never cursed.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't get it. I would have wholeheartedly expected an F-bomb there really quickly.
I dropped a tank of wine this weekend. Thankfully, it was almost nearly empty, and my mother-in-law heard me upstairs.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't hear you here in Central Florida.
Yep. It fell off the It fell off the lift.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's no bueno.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. There's this week's Smack of the Week.
Yeah.
Let's go into last call because I think we've got a really good last call topic that I'm
Hey,
pretty excited about.
before we get to last call,
Yeah.
you know, we talk about, you know, we.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. You know what? Let's open last call with that. Let's open. I know
Okay.
what you're doing. I know what you're doing. Let's open last call with that, and
Yeah.
then we'll get into our topic.
Duff, you miss everything.
Duff misses his tea time all the time, so he's just used to being late.
So Dave, lead off last call because I know you want to talk about. I know you got something to show, and
So that was actually
Brad. When you're watching, I'm just going to preface this what Dave's about to do, and I'm just going to do this right now.
Yep. So this is a shameless plug here. That was the phone call that I took there. This goes out to Craig at TalTag. I got some new merchandise in for myself and my father-in-law, my wife, and my brother-in-law from TalTag. Some great customization work right here. These are just our businesses that we run, kind of that my father-in-law started out there. This is Airport Road Vineyard and Reunion Racing Stables. And so this was the towel that Craig at TalTag created for me. My father-in-law just called me and got his in the mail, and he is blown away by the quality of the towel and the craftsmanship on this. And just a big shout out to TalTag right there.
Hey, was there another towel in there for you?
No, there was not.
Oh, I'll have to follow up on that.
Yeah, you'll have to follow up on that one. But yeah,
I have to follow up on that. It's supposed to match his ball marker, Lee.
Yeah, I know.
Figured so.
Custom design all the way across. All four of our logos right there. You know, it goes front to back. You know, really nice on that. So, and the great thing about what Craig does at TalTag, the holder that comes with it keeps everything in place. That's customized. It's a gloss finish and everything is embossed and raised on there. He can do it as a one-off. There's not a minimum order. I love all of our good towels here. We have several on. I have several on my bag. So do you, Lee. We have some great towel partners. Shameless plug for Tag Golf as well too, right there. That I have the little sidekick caddy. But today it was TalTag right there. Thanks, Craig. Amazing customization work on the towel right there. So that was my father-in-law calling me to say that he got his and he absolutely loved it.
All right, so let's now that the majors are over, and I know we still have the FedEx Cup playoffs,
which is like watching NASCAR, playoffs. You kind of know who's going to win, but you have to watch it anyway.
Yeah, and we'll, I'm sure, go down once we get to the Tour Championship, and then they flight it, and it's ugly, and there's a whole other. Yeah, that's just an ugly beast.
Yeah,
anyway. It's a Ryder Cup year, right?
It is
something like that. It gotta be. I went to the President's Cup last year, so.
Yeah. Wow, just man, you're starting to sound like. Hold on, that's a part of the Greg. Here we go. We found out before the show, by the way, Dave nor I, and I will say Greg got his email. Greg found out as well. Dave, Greg, nor I got selected for the lottery for Augusta.
I didn't get selected either.
Yeah, well, you're still going.
You used to get, it comes in this nice little envelope.
Yeah. Somebody that we know it's on here, jerk, is going to get to go to Augusta National again. Jerk. Okay, Lee, congratulations.
Tradition. It's the third time of the year. I gotta keep it going.
Yeah, it's a tradition unlike any other.
Year I don't. don't get to go, I'm going to be crying in the corner.
You know what's going to happen, though, that year you don't get to go? We're going again.
There you go.
And we're going to stop at your house and borrow your chair.
Yes.
So right now, here's where we stand. It's the top 6 for the U.S. right now are your
right,
automatics.
and the top 3 in Europe are basically locked at this point.
Yeah,
And,
so your top 6 right now is Scheffler, Wyndham Clark, Brian Harmon jumps up 17 spots into number 3.
Yep.
Brooks, Xander Schauffele, and Patrick Cantley. Max Homa right now is about 200 points behind Cantley.
Well, so let's go down because they typically go off the order anyway for the U.S. picks.
Yeah.
So your 7 through 12 is Homa, Young, Spieth, Keegan, Morikawa, Fowler, and Fowler's 12 right now.
Fowler's 12.
Just
so that means
Sam Burns.
And I'm going to say this: I don't think Sam Burns is going.
No.
There's 3 names that I think that are on the outside of this that I think are really interesting names. And then I've got a few other names that we can throw out there too. On the outside at 14 is Justin Thomas.
Yep.
Also known as Jordan Spieth playing partner.
Right.
Yep.
Tony Finau.
Yep.
And I'm going to throw another name out there that I think is an interesting one on the outside looking in, and that's at number 21, and that's Sahith Theegala.
Yep. Here's one that it really surprises me. At 17 is Will Zalatoris, who's been
Will Zalatoris,
he's
been injured, and I don't think he's going. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
No, Will's not going. Will's not going. I don't see Will there.
But the fact that he's still that high after being injured pretty much all year.
He played really well. He's played really well in big events, and that's what he does. I'm going to throw an interesting name out there that's been thrown around and finished second to last before the cut, and that's Dustin Johnson, who has been nowhere on a leaderboard in a major this year.
He's sitting at 35 right now behind
He's
Phil.
35. Phil ain't going. I can tell you that right now.
No, Phil ain't going.
Phil ain't going. You can take that one to the bank. He ain't going.
Yeah.
Phil ain't going. Bryson's 46. He ain't going either. I can tell you that right now.
I think Max Homa's a lock.
I think Cameron Young's a lock.
I
think Jordan Spieth's a lock.
And I think those 3 are your locks right there.
And I think Keegan Bradley's a lock too.
I'm not taking Morikawa right now.
I'll be honest with you though. Morikawa's the best iron player on the freaking planet. Like he hits his 3-iron closer than you hit wedge.
If you're gonna take JT, Morikawa's out because you have to take Fowler.
You don't have to take Fowler.
You're
going to because he's been playing better than Colin has.
Yes.
You're going to, and I agree with you. Like, of recent form. Now, here's the thing. Colin goes out and wins a FedEx Cup playoff event.
Different story.
Of course, he's also going to bump up there, too. And almost let Pipe lock himself. I think that JT, Finau, and Theegala are the 3 guys that you really are looking at as far as that last pick anyway. I don't know that we're going to stray off of the top 12 anyway from what we have here right now. I don't think we stray off of it unless, okay, and here's the answer. Well, and it won't matter. Here's the thing. If Justin bumps up, let's say Justin wins this week.
If JT finds his swing this weekend at 3M and goes out there and wins the thing, and that will bump him up.
Well, and it'll bump Ricky to be the odd man out right now.
Potentially,
Are you kicking one of those other guys off that team for Ricky Fowler?
I'm taking Ricky over Morikawa.
Fair. Here's the other problem. Here's the other problem. I don't know who you pair a lot of these guys with. I mean, I know the pairing of
Spieth and JT.
Spieth and JT. Well, Xander and Cantley. You're going to pair together.
Xander and Cantley.
Okay, but
Homa and Fowler.
I would pair Max Homa and here's the thing. I would put Keegan with Koepka.
They basically play the same equipment anyway.
Yeah.
Bentley and Cup.
Here's God.
No.
Yeah, fist fight.
No, I would.
No,
pair-
you know
would
who
put
I
him
you know
with-
who I think you know who I think you put Max Homa with? Wyndham Clark. Who do you put Scotty with? Who do you put Scotty with in that group? Ricky?
Young.
Say Young or Shoffley.
Yeah.
No, because Shoffley's going to play with Cantley the whole week. We all know that's going to happen.
And you put and Harmon plays with the odd man out.
Let's talk about, and there's been a lot of talk about the European Ryder Cup team and the fact that all these players, all these stalwarts that played for Europe went to live, right? And everyone's like, oh, it's going to be, the U.S. is going to go in there and wax them. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see it.
Your top six there are
No,
Rory.
no, because you can't go off of that because they use two lists. So there's two lists that they go off of. So they have a list of world points and they have a list for the DP World Tour. So
Yeah, right.
Rory and Rahm are locks. We all know that.
Rory and Rahm are locks.
And Robert McIntyre is probably a lock too at this point after the way he played at the Scottish.
I think Tommy Fleetwood's a lock.
I think Tommy Fleetwood, Paul Lowry, Terrell Hatton, Victor Hovland, and Matthew Fitzpatrick are also locks.
Yeah, because the list I have right now doesn't even. I'm looking at a different list. Fitzpatrick right now is 26.
Correct, but he's won a U.S. Open last year. He's easy to pair. He's playing. Don't think he's not.
Yeah, I think Hovland's a lock.
Oh no, Hovland's a lock. I said his name too.
Okay.
I think your next three guys, that gives you 8. So they have 4 more after that. I think Sepp Straka is on that list.
Yep. Did you put Shane Lowry on there?
Shane was already on the list in the top 8.
Okay.
I think Ludwig Aberg is on that list.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Everyone talks about, the team that Europe had, Sergio and Ian Poulter and all those guys, they got waxed in America. And yes, we haven't won overseas in 30 years.
Yeah.
But every one of those guys is getting older. And
here's the thing.
They played like dog trash. I mean, it was bad at the last one. So I honestly think
15 of the last 20 Open winners are Americans.
Correct. But I think that I think Adrian Meronk is going to be on that list of players that they're taking because the dude murders it. Mm-hmm. The interesting name for me is Ortegi. And the reason that he's interesting is that he went to live for like a month and then came back and served his penalty and paid his fine and is back playing.
Did you put the Swedish brothers on there?
Who? Which Swedish brother? I've got Hosgaard listed as a possibility. The other name that I'm going to throw out there,
because he's got his twin brother down there too.
The other name I'm going to throw out there is what about Alex Fitzpatrick?
I think the way he played at the Open, you could pair him with your brother and just.
He and his brother both play New Orleans together. They've done that the last couple of years.
Yep.
Ooh, good question, Mike.
No, Mike, it doesn't matter who if you're the player, if you're the caddy, you go. It's the same reason Stevie Williams was Australian and caddy for Tiger in the President's Cup. Doesn't matter. That's the dude paying you. That's who you're playing for. Yeah. But yeah, no. I think that I think you're going to see. I think it's going to be an interesting Ryder Cup. I don't think it's going to be the blowout that everyone thinks it is. And if it is a blowout, we just outplay them and we just play better, or they play better. Yeah. That's where I think this happens. I'll be honest with you. I would like to see. I'm going to say this way. I don't want America to ever lose. But for golf and to shut the live guys up that left that think that they're hanging on to this Ryder Cup for some reason. I wouldn't mind seeing the European team win to silence those guys that keep saying that they should be there, because I don't think they deserve to be there anyway.
Here's the thing: it's going to be a great topic for us. The next 2-3 weeks here as we get through 3M and get into the FedEx playoffs, because U.S. has to have their team picked by.
They picked Tuesday after the Tour Championship.
Yeah. So we got.
We'll go ahead and throw this out there now. That night we'll do a
after party Ryder Cup pick.
After party Ryder Cup pick after party that Tuesday night. So the next 3 weeks on the PGA Tour, we have the 3M this week. Next week we have the Wyndham Championship. We all want Wyndham Clark to win that just because.
That would be fun.
And then we start the playoffs, and they go to St. Jude. They go to Memphis. So I think we've got a really cool, next couple of weeks on the PGA Tour, and we'll go from there. I want to wrap up tonight, and I will be we'll be chatting this week. Look for some content. I put a new TikTok out today. So if you're follow us on TikTok at the Golfing Dads, make sure you check out our new TikTok, and check out some content. And we definitely, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube page. We are also closing in on 1,000 followers after having to rebuild our Instagram account after it got hacked. So let's definitely and then
SDGA.
Don't forget the Shank and Duff Golf. Hey Lee, I'm just going to ask this question. Did you get your card back?
I most certainly did, and I kicked Duff's ass. Excuse me.
Duff, we're gonna need a reevaluation of this, Duff. If you could help us out, was it a real whooping or no?
So here's how it is, and this is what's awesome about the way we play and with the number system points that we do. It brings Duff into the mix. I mean, here we are. I'm at 19 points on the back nine. He's got 3. He misses the fairway on 17. I look at him and say, "You want to play a quick 9 tomorrow so you get your card back?" And then he goes and chips in on that same hole, and all my points disappear, and he wins.
So Lee, here's
you know
the thing,
what
Brad,
you know what that
Brad,
and I'm going to say this serves you right.
Brad, he didn't make a new card. He just has a stack of them that he keeps.
Well, there's that too.
So, Lee, just while we got you here, let's put on your SDGA hat here for a second here. How many members are you up to now?
Where are we at? I think we're at 18 now. Kind of died off a little bit. I kind of gave a little rest of advertising and marketing a little bit, but we're going to pick it back up at the beginning of the month. Biggest thing is if anyone's got a kit, get one of your friends to get one too. That way you can play together and have fun. Make a game out of it. Take each other's cards.
Yeah.
I've been being nice with Duff when I've had his. Oh, it's full on game on now. If anyone's seen any of his posts out there.
Well,
and just quickly, Mike's got a shameless plug here. WAGC Nationals are this weekend up at Dancing Rabbit. If you're in Northern Mississippi this week, go out and check it out. And say hi to Jim for us. He's been on our show before, so good luck to everybody there playing. So,
yep.
I'm just thinking, So,
Lee, I just need a stack of cards when I get to play Steve and Greg.
Actually, I haven't put them up there yet, but there's going to be a replacement card, replacement tag.
Hey Brad, thanks for joining us late here. You missed a lot of Dave drinking tonight. And Lee decided, by the way, Brad, to go full on Greg and was rubbing in going to golf tournaments. So,
well, hey, you guys going up to play in Brad's scramble up there?
Well, Brad, are you playing there this weekend?
Yeah, Brad. Hey, Brad, are you playing this weekend in this? Because if so, my money's on you. Lee, we will discuss playing in Brad's event coming up shortly. You'll take the field? Okay. Well, yes. Good luck, Brad. Play well. All right, guys, we got to wrap it up. I gotta get going. I gotta get the little one to bed here. So,
Yeah.
Hope you guys have a good week. Let's enjoy the 3M championship, and
Yep.
don't forget to tip your bartender. Don't forget to tip your bartenders. Peace.
Cheers, y'all. Have a good night.